Welcome. This is a tutorial for the new Gale FE News Business and Reference Package available in partnership with JISC. And I'm here with Exeter College, who have recently signed up for the new resources.
Hi there, I'm Jude Fleming from Exeter College. I'm an information and digital practitioner and subject librarian for the faculties of Business and IT and Teacher Education here at the college.
Right, and this tutorial is going to give an overview of what's included in the package and as well as examples for how Exeter College has been utilizing the resources. And we're going to start with PowerSearch. The PowerSearch cross-searching platform is the home for current newspapers, journals, magazines, and ebooks. Publications include local, national, and international newspapers, industry-themed journals like healthcare, and business-orientated magazines such as The Economist. And these are cross-searchable with over 1,700 Gale published reference ebooks that cover topics from fashion to sports science. So for our first question, what subject areas have you found PowerSearch most useful?
To be honest, it's across the curriculum really. The databases are so broad in their coverage, so it's really applicable across the whole curriculum. I've demonstrated the databases to teaching students and business students. And only yesterday I was talking to a health and social care student who was accessing resources from General OneFile for a large piece of work she was undertaking. So right across the board, really.
That's great. It really has a diverse appeal. And now we'll see this platform in action. It's designed to be intuitive for students. So we do have this big basic search bar in the middle. And I'm going to do the keyword healthcare. And as you can see, it brings up a list of results on the left, and then you can start limiting on the right. You have a bunch of different sidebar options from content types, full text documents, publication dates, subject areas, and publication titles. Whatever you may need, these are all drop-down menus so that you can pick and limit from there. I've done full text, and I'm also going to do news for this example. And I'm going to pick up one of these healthcare articles here. Once you click into one, you'll see you'll get the HTML of the article, and your keyword is going to be highlighted in red. And you can take advantage of a few different tools that are along the right side here. So you have the citation tools, highlights and notes tools. You can save to Google Drive or OneDrive, print, email, download, however the student may need it. They're able to save it in whatever format they might need. And as you scroll through, you'll also be able to get interlinks, which are highlights like this one, where you can click on a word that may not be recognizable, or you want to learn more about a certain subject like New York City, and it will pull up an encyclopedia so that you can get an authoritative definition. And to give an example of the highlights and notes, you can also click and drag, and this little box will come up, show you the highlights and notes features. You can save, and then they're all collated here. So that's some of the platform features. Moving on to the next question, how has your staff and students been using the platform tools so far?
Well, whenever I demonstrate the databases, I always show the students and staff how they can limit by date, etc., using those options on the right-hand side, And I get them to really think about the keywords that they're using, to try and think around their topic so they can really get the most out of the resources. And they all really like the fact that you can save and email the articles, and they use the citation tools that are built in. And I have used the translation feature with an international student too.
That's great. This completes the sort of PowerSearch component, but the package also includes two more platforms. The next one is Business Insights Global. And this component is a set of resources specifically for business students. And this database has an international appeal. So for example, it works best with company names, industry names, or countries. So if we pop in Sainsbury's, there we go. So you'll see that Sainsbury's comes up with almost a home page for the company. And when we click into this, you'll see a variety of categorized resources. It starts with an overview at the top of all of the facts and figures, and then you have a list along the left-hand side here from company histories to reports, market share reports, trade journals, anything that can provide the contextualizing information to compare one retailer to another within the market. It also has an interactive comparisons part here where you can create charts from scratch. So I'm going to go to companies and add in Sainsbury's here. And compare this to Tesco. And here you'll be able to see how the revenue is comparing. You also have this drop down and you can pick from other categories too, like employees, revenue, employees over time, sales per employee, that sort of thing. And this is downloadable or printable over here if a student wants to put this into one of their research papers. Now that we've had a look at the tools, what would you say are the main advantages to having a database specifically dedicated to business students?
Well, at Exeter College, we've got a fairly large cohort of business students. They range from level 1, 2 and 3 BTEC to apprentices, A-levels, access to HE, HNC and HND, and even a Bachelor of Arts Business Management. So they can all benefit from the business databases to support their studies and research.
That's great. And have staff taken advantage of this database for teaching and research as well?
Yes, they do. Yes, they will. The staff will direct their students. They will show them bits and pieces from, say, the Business Insights Global in the classroom, and then they will tell the students to go away and look at the industry reports, particularly because they are completing individual projects in different industries with real employers. So the students that access the resources and the industry reports get better grades, and also the employers are really impressed with their depth of research.
That's great. I like that there's such a applicable way of using this database in particular for that type of study.
There really is, yes. Yeah.
And then the last thing to mention is our last component of the package, which is the newspaper archives. They are housed on Gale Primary Sources, which has recently had a facelift. So it's a bit more streamlined here. And the 4 newspapers that are in this package are the Times, the Economist, the Independent, and the Financial Times. And they're all cross-searchable to provide contextualizing information for studies ranging from art and theater through reviews to business and marketing with industry reporting and adverts. So why have these 4 newspaper titles in particular have been of interest to FE students?
Well, they're all really well recognised titles, and they benefit not only our business and economics students, but also more broadly journalism and English language students. They might be looking at language change, the language of advertising, or how journalistic techniques have changed. So they can all do quite a lot of research within these archives of newspapers.
Great, yeah, so let's dive in. So I am going to show off another feature. You can do this basic search like we did in PowerSearch, but I'm actually going to dive in with our topic finder option, which takes your keyword, like Sainsbury's, and will search for it in a visual way, which has come up with a whole bunch of different subcategories. And this is nice for students who are a bit more visual or are brainstorming and don't know where to start, want to get some contextualizing information, and you can pop into the most relevant related keywords like supermarket. And here it will zoom in on one of those keywords and you'll get a short list of related topics here. And if I just click on one of these, you'll be able to see the facsimile of the original article. So students are able to read exactly as it looked like in this case, 1985. You'll have the ability to make this bigger and change the sizing of it, change the brightness or depth of color to make it easier to read. And you have your same suite of tools along the right-hand side for saving, emailing, citing, that sort of thing. I will pop up the citation tools here too so that you can take a look at the either options that we've put in automatically, or if you have a different citation method, you can export to a number of different softwares as well. So overall, what attracted you most to this resource package, and how do you think these resources map onto your curriculum, and how have they been embedded in the teaching and learning process?
Well, we've had access to General OneFile for a lot of years, very many years, I think almost since I've been at the college, and it's always been our main source of online academic journals. So when we were looking at sort of taking on more resources, it made sense to broaden our collection on the same platform because it's familiar, we're used to using it. I personally was particularly excited about the Business Insights Global because of my links with the Faculty of Business and IT, and I would say definitely that one out of everything has really been embedded within the curriculum for particularly the HE course, the BABM, business management degree course. They've really taken to it. So I think it has been very beneficial to them, and I know the teachers are very excited when the students are accessing these resources. And as I said, the industry employers are very impressed with it as well. So I think it has been really successful for our curriculum.
And are there any closing remarks or parting advice you'd like to share?
Well, I would say use the PowerSearch. So rather than going into individual databases, use PowerSearch. Think really carefully about the keywords that you're using, and use those limiters. So you can, change by date or type of resource, whether it's a PDF or whatever. Use the limiters. Use the citation tools as well so that you correctly reference these resources in your college work, and always ask your librarian if you're struggling to find information on the resource. But yes, I would recommend it. It has been a good addition to our collection.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing your perspective and how this has been used at your college. This has been a tutorial for the new Gale FE News Business Reference Package. I hope this was helpful. For any additional questions, please do get in contact with me. Thanks very much.